Mr. Kirchhoff, recently you said that any discussion on the Greek debt is always wrong. Why is it wrong, and what's the right discussion?
Okay, I think we have to promote structural changes in the Greek economy in order to become more competitive, increase, for instance, our exports, and increase our tourist receipts. During the years 2015 and 2016, the receipts from exports somewhat went down, and in 2016, the receipts from tourism went down as well. So you have to become more competitive to get the money you need in order to repay your debts in the international market. This is the best way of getting the money you need. Otherwise, you have to overtax the Greek people or to get the money you need, or you have to ask your creditors to reduce the amount of debt. But since the creditors are governments, they have political difficulty doing so, because behind the government are the taxpayers, and the taxpayers are voters. So the best way to go forward is to become more competitive and get the money we need in the international market. Our Chinese friend can tell us the secret of how to prevail in the international market.
In the aftermath of Mr. Donald Trump's victory and the results of the recent referendum in Italy, the anti-establishment winds keep blowing through Europe. How EU should respond to that effectively?
Yes. Well, it's difficult to respond, but you know, establishment, anti-establishment it depends on the definition, because Trump represents the super establishment, in my view, and that is proved by the choices he made for who is going to be the next Minister of Finance, etc., etc. But I can tell you that the European Union is resilient. We are expecting the extreme right-wing candidate to prevail in the presidential elections in Austria that took place last Saturday. Thank God the Green candidate, pro-ecologist candidate prevailed, supported by the forces of the center-left and the center-right. And then, of course, we had this result in Italy, but the Italian economy has been proved resilient in the sense that the second day after the no to the referendum, Mr. Renzi took the initiative to hold this referendum, the markets started responding in a positive way. So the European Union has a lot of strength in it, faces a lot of problems, and we have to find out ways to start solving the problems. But it's not easy to do it, and you need political time, because you have major elections in 2017 and some elections in 2018. So we have to wait for the new political landscape to be created to see how we can restart the European Union on a new political basis.
A few months after the referendum results, what are your thoughts on Brexit and its effects on the European Union?
Okay, Brexit is a major blow. The vote in favor of Brexit is a major blow for the European Union, but things are beginning to change in the sense that the British now realize how difficult it is to leave the European Union, and I can tell you that the British public opinion is beginning to shift in the direction of in favor of remaining. So we will have to wait and see what's going to happen. For the time being, we are expecting Prime Minister May to push the button of the Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty and start negotiating with the European Union.
Yes. What's European Union's perception on the Chinese Belt and Road project?
The Chinese?
One Belt, One Road project.
Can you be more specific?
It's from China to other countries, the business relationships.
No. Okay, I'm not an expert on China,
okay.
But I can tell you that we really value your country in the sense that it is a major power, economic, political, military as well, and to have to increase collaboration with China. There is a lot of friction, of course, because both the United States, China, and the European Union have their own special economic interests, and everybody tries to push forward its own interest, sometimes at the expense of the other. So we believe that sometimes the Chinese policy is too dynamic in the sense that you use some means to prevail in the international markets that we judge are very tough. But I think that by talking to each other, we can find solutions and to have to reach a win-win situation in the sense that the future belongs to China, of course, to the United States and the European Union as well.
And what's the prospects of Greece and China relationships after the Greece selling the Pileras port to Chinese COSCO?
Okay, I think we can develop our relations because Greece, as you know, is a big maritime power in shipping, and China helps us a lot. We build a lot of our ships in China, and China trusts us with its external trade, Greek ship owners. So there is a big prospect in developing our collaboration. We value Chinese investment in Greek infrastructure and in European infrastructure as well. And we also want to welcome more Chinese tourists in our country because you are doing very well and your middle class is being strengthened due to the economic policy, and they are big spenders overseas. We welcome them to Greece.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kirchhoff.
Thank you.
Thank you.